These Veo3 ads are going viral on Twitter right now and probably on every platform pretty soon. And for good reason, because they're seamlessly making marketing ads that used to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to make. But this time, they're being created for literally less than $1 using AI. In this video, you'll learn how to automate these golden prompts, which I organize here in this document with proper attribution to their creators, of course, and which I'm sharing as reference for you so that you can instantly customize them for any brand just by typing a brief for your AI agent here, and even generate videos in vertical if you wish to create ready-to-publish marketing ads like this IKEA one from Salma, this Tesla ad by Michael, this sneaker launch ad by Heather, this Jeep ad by Guillermo, or this Rimowa ad also from Salma, and several more prompts and templates in this prompt library which I organized so that you can just copy them and use them immediately. And if in case this looks intimidating, don't worry, because this tool is actually all no code, and in fact the actual workflow is just this one, so it's much simpler than it looks. I just included the whole prompt library here so that you can swap out those prompts as well depending on your use case. So if you want to learn how to do this and more, then invest some time to watch till the end, and I'll teach you the principles of how to set up something like this, and also so that you can stay across on the bleeding edge of what's possible today with AI. Let's begin. By the way, if you're new here, my name's Jay. I lead RoboLabs, which is our agency arm helping mostly brands and content businesses use AI in meaningful ways. And also the RoboNuggets community, our education arm, where we have hundreds of AI practitioners and professionals located across the globe. And here at RoboNuggets, our mission is quite simple, is to make AI easy to learn for anyone who wants to, so that you too can take advantage of this historic shift that AI is bringing. And in fact, to make this as easy as possible, I've collated all of those amazing prompts in this library. And also I'll be uploading this AI agent template to our community so that you can just import it into n8n, which is the no-code tool we're using if you're already well-versed with this tool and if you want the shortcut. But if you're a beginner, don't worry, because I will be walking you through this AI agent workflow node by node so that you too can understand the principles of how to make an automation like this, which is what's more important anyway, in my opinion. All right, so broadly for context, I first saw this trend via this tweet by Min Choi, who is a great follower in the AI space if you're not following him yet. But I saw this Veo3 IKEA ad, which now has 2 million views just a few days after posting it, where his prompt was originally inspired by Salma, who seemed to have started this trend. But now these Veo3 ads are all over Twitter and probably on other social platforms as well pretty soon. And for good reason, because these prompts seem to have unlocked completely new capabilities of Veo3 that we were not even aware of when it first launched. And I think what's unique about these prompts once you go to this library is that the prompts themselves are actually formatted in markup language. So this one is in the YAML format. And then if we scroll down, this one is in JSON, which stands for JavaScript Object Notation. So whenever you see these brackets and braces, that's basically what JSON is. And I guess it makes sense that these prompts are actually providing higher quality output for Veo3, because for years now, a lot of the internet and essentially the computers powering it have been communicating through formats like these behind the scenes. So if you provide a prompt as structured as this into an AI model like Veo3, which was trained from the entirety of the internet, then it makes sense that these prompts are also generating much higher quality output for us. So I think that's the big unlock that this trend has revealed to the world. But now obviously the question becomes, if you have access to this prompt library as well as these detailed prompts, how do you actually use them? Well, first I'll show you how to use them manually, meaning copying and pasting it into a tool and you get an output in return. But also I'll show you how to do this automatically so that you don't have to tweak those prompts yourself for the brand that you want to create for. So first, the manual way, we basically just want to copy this prompt and put it into a tool that has access to Veo3. A lot of people use the official Google Flow tool or even Kriya AI, which you can do as well. But these tools actually require a subscription, so the cost barrier to entry is much higher if you just want to test things out. So the one that I found that's also the cheapest implementation, at least right now, is key.ai. And what's good about it is not only does it let you use Veo3 manually, it also lets you use Veo3 in an automated manner thanks to their APIs, which you'll see in a bit. So if you sign up there and head to your playground under Veo3, immediately you'll see here an interface which you can use to just paste in your prompt like what I did here. And what's great is they actually provide you an option for vertical format. So let's do that to just illustrate it. And then the last toggle you can use here is either Veo3 Fast, which is the cheaper version. This costs around 55 cents for a vertical video and 40 cents for a horizontal video. So this is in key AI credits, so you can just do the math when you explore this website. But of course, you also have Veo3 Quality, which is much more expensive, but that's available for you if in case your group has the budget. And also Veo3 Fast Quality is not yet enough for your use case. But for us, Veo3 Fast is good just to illustrate, and you'll be able to generate that here. Will take a few minutes. And there you go. It just generated this ad, which looks pretty good. And obviously you can download that as well manually here. So now the question becomes, how do you customize those prompts for the brand that you want, and how to do that automatically so that you don't have to write the prompt yourself? Well, the tool of choice that I feature a lot in this channel is called n8n. which, just in case you haven't heard of n8n, it's a no-code automation tool similar to Zapier or Make.com, but very clearly it's gotten popular because of how easy it is to implement AI agents for this case. And it's also not that complex if you have someone guiding you through it. But if you head to n8n through the link below, you'll be able to sign in and try it out, and you'll be able to create AI agent workflows like this one that we have here. So this may look complex, but honestly, the way that it works is very simple. Whenever you run this workflow, you just open this set direction node, and in here is basically where you provide the direction to your AI agent on what to do. So you have a creative brief here, and you can go as detailed as you want. The prompt inspiration, which you can just copy paste coming from the prompt library, so you can see it's the same thing here. And then I've made it so that you can also define the aspect ratio here, as well as the model, which we've set as Veo3 fast and vertical for this case. So that's the briefing that you just need to provide to your AI agent once you have this automation fully set up in your workspace. And if you execute it, it will basically provide that direction to your AI agent, who will recraft that prompt and then pass it along to Veo3, which then generates the video and puts that video to your Google Sheets for proper logging. And if you look at that Google Sheets, it was able to generate that video for us, which if we click, it will take us to a new browser tab. And there you go. Our AI agent just recrafted that prompt and made an ad for Volkswagen in this case. So let's go through this workflow in more detail so that you can understand the principles of how I set it up. And the first principle is this workflow. You can see the trigger for it is on click, which is us clicking the execute workflow, because I actually imagine this n8n template as something that doesn't run on a scheduled manner. It's sort of like a mini application for Veo3 generations. So whenever you need an ad, you can just go here in your mini app and run these notes, which is important because if you're spending money for creating the ads, you want to make sure that this AI agent is actually providing you with the right prompts. Of course, you can change this trigger to a schedule if you want to generate them every day, for example. That's quite easy to do in n8n, but at least for most use cases, I think it will function as sort of a standalone mini application. But broadly, you can see there are just 4 steps here. The first one, which we just walked through, is this node that will provide the creative brief to the AI agent. Next, we'll look into the config of how this AI agent was set up in the first place. And then with its out, which is going to be the refined prompt, it will pass that along to Veo3, still via the key.ai integration to create that ad. And then once we get that ad, we just log it to Google Sheets. So I'll just talk through the setup for this and make it as beginner friendly as possible. But in the interest of time, and for those who are already intermediate level in n8n, who are probably the ones watching this, feel free to check out some of our earlier videos where I show how to create workflows in n8n from scratch so that you can better learn and understand this setup if it becomes too complex. But in any case, starting from top to bottom, the first step is basically this node that's named as set direction. It's an edit fields node. So if I open that up, that's basically what we saw earlier. So I imagine these fields to be pre-populated by the user every time this runs. So if I just click execute this step, what that just provided as an output is all of those fields that we've manually set and load them into n8n so that we can pass them along to the succeeding nodes. So that's all step 1 really is. But just a note, you can see there's a lot of other edit field nodes here, and I just included this here for quality of life. So they're the same ones that we have in the prompt library in that Notion document. But if you open this up, this just has the prompt that's provided by this user that is pretty much ready to go so that you can just swap this node with any of these, and that would hopefully make it much easier to work with this template. But now that we have a creative brief, now we just pass that along to our AI agent. You'll see that for every AI agent in n8n or otherwise, you usually just need to provide a user prompt, which is sort of what you type into ChatGPT, which is provided here. And again, this looks complex, but if we expand that, you'll see you have some green text expressions here. But in reality, how that translates is it's just pulling from your input, which is the brief in this case. I want an ad for Volkswagen. So that will be what will be passed to the agent. And we're also explicitly asking it to take inspiration from the prompt that we provided it, which is this long one that we got from Twitter. So that's good that you provided a user prompt, but AI agents that are robust also would need a system prompt. And a system prompt is like a declaration of an agent's role in its life. So if you open that, we already have a pretty detailed system prompt here, which you can just read through in your own time. It's also using our agent framework, which we talked about in the previous video. But essentially, that just makes sure that our agent provides the output that we need. So if you execute this step, what it's now doing is thinking about how to tweak this prompt that we just provided it for a Volkswagen ad. What it provided us as an output is this title, just for logging purposes, but more importantly, this final prompt, which we're about to send to Veo3. You can see that this AI agent has access to these tools or models. So this is probably familiar to you already if you have worked with n8n. But essentially, to just run through them, the most important piece here is this model, which in a way functions as its brain. So in this case, we use OpenAI's models, which if we open that, we're using 4.1, but there are several options here if you want to play around with that. But more importantly, if you're setting this up for the first time, you just need to set up your credential here by creating a new credential. And you can see it's going to ask for your API key, which you can get just by going to this URL and creating a key there, which you can paste here. So once you have that set up, you'll be able to access ChatGPT from within n8n. Now, this Think tool is just a good node to add as best practice. This is unique in n8n, but basically what it does is it allows your AI agent to reason or think about its output before providing it to you. So I didn't even change the default description that n8n has here, and it's simple to add. So it's just good to have it there almost always. And then we have this structure, which is going to be an output parser node. And what this basically does is it just provides the output structure that we want our AI agent to adhere to. So if you remember, the output that our agent provided is an attribute called title, as well as the final prompt. The reason why it was able to do that properly is because we provided it this strict guidance that that is the output that we want. So this is where you declare that. If you want to add more elements here, like a caption and such, this is where you do it. And then finally, we have this Google Sheets node, which is also a tool. But if we open that, that basically is connected to our Google Sheets account, which again, if you're new, you need to just set up your credential here. This is simple. You have a single sign-on with Google. And what this basically is doing is it's connected to one of our Google Sheets, which is this template in my case, which I'll also share along with this whole n8n template. And if you remember, the format of that Google Sheet is quite simple. We're just logging everything here so that we have proper tracking. And you can see here that we're specifically looking for data in column B, which is this one. So now if I execute this step, what that basically did is provide our AI agent with ideas or topics that it has already generated in the past. So let's say you have one brand that you want to generate this for and you want to generate multiple. This is just a good way to help prevent your agent from duplicating on the ideas. So that's an optional technique if you want it, but you can also just remove this tool if in case it's not needed for your use case. So there, now that our AI agent has refined the prompt, how do we then pass that along to Veo3? Well, if we go to step 3, there is this node called an HTTP request node, which if you haven't used these before, an HTTP request is one of the most used nodes in n8n because it's the primary way by which we call on third-party tools to use in n8n. So this one node alone makes n8n very flexible to use. And because we're making a request, we have the method set as post. So it's like you're posting a mail. And with that analogy, if you're posting a mail, you obviously would need an address on the other end to send that mail to. And so this URL is what it is. You can see it is pointing to key.ai. So this is just their official URL for automated requests like this. And then obviously, if you have an address to send, you also would need some sort of message in that mail to inform key AI of what you're requesting for in the first place. So if you go down, this body area is where you declare that. And you can see the body is again in JavaScript object notation. So if we open that, you'll see that this is quite a simple expression where we are providing it the prompt, we're providing it the model, and providing it the aspect ratio. All green text expressions because we want them to be dynamic values. In reality, how that will translate is we're just providing it the prompt, we're just providing it the model, as well as the aspect ratio, which we pre-declared when we first set the direction in the very first step. So this JSON format template is just as per KAI's documentation. So I've read that and worked through how to connect to their application so that you don't have to. This is basically how. So now if we go back, continuing the analogy, the last thing that you would need is to set up your credential, which sort of acts like a stamp to declare to key.ai that you actually paid for the mail that you are sending to them. And there are multiple ways to do this. The setup that I recommend is to have the authentication set as header auth, similar to this. And then for the credential itself, you just want to click here, create a new credential, name this with whatever that you want. So for example, key AI credential. The name needs to be typed as authorization, taking note of the capital letters and the lack of spaces afterward, because if you mess up just one character here, it actually won't work. It's just as per key AI's rules. And then for the value, you want to change this to expression just so that you can see what you are typing and type in bearer space. And again, don't ask me why that is. That is basically how the internet has functioned for these JSON prompts and APIs, which are application programming interface for quite a few years now. But anyway, you will need to provide your API key here from key AI. So how do you get that? So, well, if you go back to key AI, you can see that there is an API key section here, which you can click. And here is where you can create your API key that you can just copy. Do note that your API key should be private because if you share it around to friends, then they'll be able to access your account and also drain your credits and stuff. So just take note of that. So if you paste it here and click on save, then you'll have every element that you need to connect to key AI. And every time this node runs, so let's click execute step, it will be able to connect to key as well as Veo3. And if you receive a status code of 200, that's the best code of all when it comes to APIs, and it will say success. Now, this success means that you have successfully posted your request. It doesn't mean that the video has already finished processing, which is why this next node is just going to be a wait node. So if you open that up, in reality, you can set this as something like 600 seconds for 10 minutes to give it enough time to generate. But for now, since you are testing this out, you can just put in 1 second and execute step so that we can move on to the succeeding step. Now, if you go back, this next node is just for us to get the Veo3 generation that we requested from key AI. And so if you open that, this time the method is just a request to get. And then for the URL itself, it's again pointed to key, specifically this URL, where according to the documentation is where we get our videos. And then since you have set up your credentials, you'll be able to choose that as well here. And then for key to return to us the actual video that we generated, we'll just provide it this task ID, which is a dynamic value coming from this previous node. So this is the ID that got generated for us when we made the request, which just lets a service like KAI look for the video in their database somewhere. So if we execute this step, it will probably not provide us with the video yet. So if we go to schema, you'll see that the response is still null because not enough time has passed for the video to be fully generated. So we still have to wait a bit for that. So for you to see where that is, you can just go to logs here, go to Veo3, and then here you'll see that it is still running. So probably grab a coffee or something and wait for it to finish. But if you refresh this and go to Veo3, you'll see that now when that is successful, you can just go back to your n8n instance once again, re-execute this get Veo3 step, and this time we should get a response back as well as this result URL, which you can actually copy and paste to any browser tab. And there you go. It just generated that new Volkswagen ad for us. So that sliding piece is actually pretty cool. So now if we go back, the final step really is just for us to log this ad in our Google Sheets template. So if you open that, that just has the credentials set up for your Google Sheets already. If you've already connected, this time the action we're doing is to append a row. So we're just adding this row in that sheet. And once you have your Google Sheet connected here, the columns here should auto-populate. If we open our Google Sheet here, you'll see that it is basically the same thing. For the ID, we just have an Excel formula here, which translates in practice in Excel into a proper ID that increments by 1 so that we have easier ID tracking here. You have the title, which is important because the prompts here are actually quite descriptive, so it's hard to understand what they are without a shorter hand title. And then, of course, you have the prompt here. We have the production status set as done and the final output, which is the most important because that is where the video resides. So if we execute this step, it should add another row here and also provide us with a URL there at the end. And there you go, step by step. That's how this n8n mini app Veo3 Ads Factory works. In practice, the way you work with this is you set the direction here, you click on play, and then you click on play again on the AI agent so that you can check its output before passing it on to Veo3, especially if you're trying to save on costs. And then of course, make sure that your wait node is set to a long enough time, so 10 minutes is usually enough. And there you have it. I think some final thoughts. One is what's cool about this trend is we're actually exploring a bit more about the capabilities of Veo3, which is quite unique in a new piece of technology because previously, if you have software that you launched, it's actually very deterministic. So you can pretty much predict how that software will behave and be used. So websites, for example, when they began, a programmer somewhere coded the back end to make sure that you can navigate however they want you to navigate. But with technologies like Veo3 and other AI models, even though they were released already months ago, we keep discovering new things on how to use them, which is just the nature of AI, which to me is really interesting and which this trend has revealed. And then the second thought in terms of a usability perspective is that some operational questions come up, right? So we want to be able to create an ad not just for brands that Veo3 is probably trained on. So if you're thinking to launch your own e-com brand, how do you then feed that to Veo3 as a model and create ads from that? So I think there are ways to do that now, probably not yet perfectly. So if you're keen to see us explore that, then stay tuned for more content and subscribe to the channel. And then a second thing is right now, Veo3 is limited to 8-second videos. How do you make it so that it's a seamless 30-second, 60-second ad instead of just these 8-second shorts? So that's something I'm excited to touch on for succeeding lessons. So stay tuned for that one. And also, if you want to learn more of how to set up an automation template like this, feel free to check out the RoboNuggets community, which also functions as our education arm. We have tons more lessons here around artificial intelligence and automation as well. Several of our AI practitioners around the globe are also posting paid opportunities and partnership collaborations here. And we also host learning sessions with well-known tools in the AI space and even do meetups IRL occasionally, which is pretty cool to see. So if you want to join a community of AI practitioners to navigate this quickly evolving space, then have a look at the RoboNuggets community and see if that's for you. All right, guys, that's it for this one. See you guys next time. Thank you.